Welcome to the Transitions Daily podcast. Transitions Daily is an online recovery group that offers a daily distribution of popular recovery resources accompanied by a secret Facebook group for discussion. We hope you enjoy today's readings.
This is Transitions Daily for October 9th, read by Cindy L. from Fort Worth, Texas. AA thoughts for the day. Emotional sobriety. If we examine every disturbance we have, great or small, we will find at the root of it some unhealthy dependency and its consequent unhealthy demand. Let us, with God's help, continually surrender these hobbling liabilities. Then we can be set free to live and love. We may then be able to 12th step ourselves, as well as others, into emotional sobriety. Bill W., AA Grapevine. Thought to consider. Sobriety is a choice and a treasure. Acronyms. Detach. Don't even think about changing him or her. Just for today. No matter what, from using the 24-hour plan. Although we realize that alcoholism is a permanent, irreversible condition, our experience has taught us to make no long-term promises about staying sober. We have found it more realistic and more successful to say, I'm not taking a drink just for today. Even if we drank yesterday, we can plan not to drink today. We may drink tomorrow. Who knows whether we'll even be alive then. But for this 24 hours, we decide not to drink. No matter what the temptation or provocation, we determine to go to any extremes necessary to avoid a drink today. Living Sober, page 6. Daily Reflections, a spiritual axiom. It is a spiritual axiom that every time we are disturbed, no matter what the cause, there is something wrong with us. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 90. I never truly understood the 10th step spiritual axiom until I had the following experience. I was sitting in my bedroom, reading into the wee hours, when suddenly I heard my dogs barking in the backyard. My neighbors frown on this kind of disturbance, so with mixed feelings of anger and shame, as well as fear of my neighbors' disapproval, I immediately called in my dogs. Several weeks later, the exact situation repeated itself, but this time, because I was feeling more at peace with myself, I was able to accept the situation. Dogs will bark, and I calmly called in the dogs. Both incidents taught me that when a person experiences nearly identical events and reacts two different ways, then it is not the event which is of prime importance, but the person's spiritual condition. Feelings come from inside, not from outward circumstances. When my spiritual condition is positive, I react positively. As Bill sees it, instincts run wild. Every time a person imposes his instincts unreasonably upon others, unhappiness follows. If the pursuit of wealth tramples upon people who happen to be in the way, then anger, jealousy, and revenge are likely to be aroused. If sex runs riot, there is similar uproar. Demands made upon other people for too much attention, protection, and love can invite only domination or revulsion in the protectors themselves. Two emotions quite as unhealthy as the demands which evoked them. When an individual's desire for prestige becomes uncontrollable, whether in the sewing circle or at the international conference table, other people suffer and often revolt. This collision of instincts can produce anything from a cold snub to a blazing revolution. 12 and 12, page 44. Big Book quote. In this book, you read again and again that faith did for us what we could not do for ourselves. We hope you are convinced now that God can remove whatever self-will has blocked you off from Him. If you have already made a decision and an inventory of your grosser handicaps, you have made a good beginning. That being so you have swallowed and digested some big chunks of truth about yourself. Alcoholics Anonymous, How It Works, page 70. 24 hours a day. AA thought for the day. Am I willing to be bored sometimes at meetings? Am I willing to listen to much repetition of AA principles? Am I willing to hear the same thing over and over again? Am I willing to listen to a long blow-by-blow personal story because it might help some new member? Am I willing to sit quietly and listen to long-winded members go into every detail of their past? Am I willing to take it because it is doing them good to get it off their chest? My feelings are not too important. The good of AA comes first, even if it is not always comfortable for me. Have I learned to take it? Meditation for the day. God would draw us all closer to Him in the bonds of the Spirit. He would have all people drawn closer to each other in the bonds of the Spirit. God, the greater spirit of the universe, of which each of our own spirits is a small part, must want unity between Himself and all His children. Unity of the Spirit in the bonds of peace. Each experience of our life, of joy, of sorrow, of danger, of safety, of difficulty, of success, of hardship, of ease, each should be accepted as part of our common lot in the bonds of the Spirit. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may welcome the bonds of true fellowship. I pray that I may be brought closer to unity with God and other people. Hazelden Foundation, P.O. Box 176, Center City, Minnesota, 55012. I'm Cindy L., and I'm an alcoholic.
We hope you enjoy today's readings. You can also receive Transitions Daily via email and discuss today's readings in our secret Facebook group. So for more information, go to dailyaaemails.com today.
Other than the 24 hours a day reading, unless otherwise specified, all quotes copyright Alcoholics Anonymous World Services, Inc., 1952 through 2001.